As usual, she was at the hindmost end of the daily exodus, a wispy child of 12, already beautiful, with liquid brown eyes and hair the color of a raven's wing. Much to Beatrice's dismay, the school had no uniform, only a dress code, which several of the more free-thinking students flouted with no official sanction. But not the new girl. She was covered from head to toe in expensive wool and plaid, the sort of stuff one saw at the Burberry boutique in Harrods. She carried a leather book bag rather than a nylon backpack. Her patent leather ballet slippers were glossy and bright. She was proper, the new girl, modest. But there was something else about her, thought Beatrice. She was cut from different cloth. She was regal. Yes, that was the word, regal. She had arrived 2 weeks into the autumn term, not ideal but not unheard of at an institution like Geneva International, where the parent body came and went like the waters of the Rhone. David Millar, the headmaster, had crammed her into Beatrice's third period, which was already 2 pupils on the heavy side. The copy of the admissions file he gave her was gossamer, even by the school standards. It stated that the new girl's name was Jihan Tantawi, that she was of Egyptian nationality, and that her father was a businessman rather than a diplomat. Her academic record was unexceptional. She was deemed bright, but in no way gifted. A bird ready to take flight, wrote David in a sanguine margin note. Indeed, the only noteworthy aspect of the file was the paragraph reserved for the student's special needs. It seemed privacy was of grave concern to the Tantawi family. Security, wrote David, was a high priority. Hence, the presence in the courtyard that afternoon, and every afternoon for that matter, of Lucien Villard, the school's capable head of security. Lucien was a French import, a veteran of the Service de la Protection, the national police unit responsible for safeguarding visiting foreign dignitaries and senior French officials. His final posting had been at the Élysée Palace, where he had served on the personal detail of the President of the Republic. David Millar used Lucien's impressive resume as proof of the school's commitment to safety. Jihan Tantawi was not the only student with security concerns. But no one arrived and departed Geneva International quite like the new girl. The black Mercedes limousine into which she slipped was fit for a head of state or potentate. Beatrice was no expert when it came to automobiles, but it looked to her as though the chassis was armor-plated and the windows were bulletproof. Behind it was a second vehicle, a Range Rover, containing 4 unsmiling brutes in dark jackets. "Who do you suppose he is?" wondered Beatrice, as she watched the 2 vehicles turn into the street. Cecilia Halifax was bewildered. The Russian spy? "The new girl," drawled Beatrice. Then she added dubiously, "Jihan. They say her father owns half of Cairo." "Who says that?" "Veronica." Veronica Alvarez was a hot-tempered Spaniard from the art department, and one of the least reliable sources of gossip on the faculty, second only to Cecilia herself. "She says the mother is related to the Egyptian president, his niece, or maybe his cousin." Beatrice watched Lucien Villard crossing the forecourt. "Do you know what I think?" "What?" "I think someone is lying." And so it came to pass that Beatrice Kenton, a battle-scarred veteran of several lesser British public schools who had come to Geneva looking for romance and adventure and found neither, undertook a wholly private inquiry to determine the true identity of the new girl. She began by entering the name Jihan Tantawi in the little white box of her Internet browser's default search engine. Several thousand results appeared on her screen, none corresponding to the beautiful 12-year-old girl who came through her classroom door at the beginning of each third period, never so much as a minute late. Next, Beatrice searched the various social media sites, but again found no trace of her student. It seemed the new girl was the only 12-year-old on God's green earth who did not lead a parallel life in cyberspace. Beatrice found this commendable, for she had witnessed firsthand the destructive emotional and developmental consequences of incessant texting, tweeting, and sharing of photographs. Regrettably, such behavior was not limited to children. Cecilia Halifax could scarcely go to the loo without posting an airbrushed photo of herself on Instagram. The father, one Adnan Tantawi, was similarly anonymous in the cyber realm. Beatrice found a few references to a Tantawi construction.